Africa Aerospace and Defence Exhibition for 2016 is currently underway, opening today. It's carrying on until the weekend. You can come and visit it over this particular weekend. It's open to the public, but it's only for business during the week, so you won't be able to come during this week, but on the weekend you can come and take a visit here, and it's well worth it. It's absolutely spectacular to see the things that are on display here. But one thing I have to tell you is I am not sure what's happened to the weather. It is absolutely freezing over here. I'm not going to joke. I'm freezing, and I'm trying everything to try and have my hair not blowing all over the place, but it's not working. So please bear with me. I'm trying to bear with myself right now. But it is freezing and it is windy. But nonetheless, I hope you're enjoying some of the incredible visuals that you've got on your screen at the moment. And it's all thanks to the great cameraman and the work of our directors and everybody that put this together for us this morning. Well, we're standing in front of a phenomenal story, actually, and it's a story I'm going to tell you about a little bit later on. But this is an Antonov aircraft. It's about 65 years old, and it was handed over to a gentleman for free. He got this for free, but he had to fly it over the ocean from, I think he got it in Russia, and he had to fly it back to South Africa. But the whole aim is that he has to just take children in this aircraft and show them everything that has to do about aircraft. And that's exactly what he's dedicated his life to. So an incredible man owns this and just gives children the opportunity to go up in an aircraft and enjoy things that they never would normally be able to do. So it's just so lovely. So now we talk about an Antonov, and this actually is a Russian aircraft, as I mentioned. So we talk about Russia's involvement here. 14 Russian companies are taking part in this aerospace and defense exhibition, and on top of that, big delegation here to interact with many international and local players in the defense and military space. We have got Alexander Kolev from the Russian Embassy in South Africa to talk about this involvement and to talk about some of the things that they're actually exhibiting here. Good to have you on the program. Welcome to Morning Live.
Thank you for having me. So the expo isn't really opened yet, but you can get the grand scale of the event just by looking at it.
It's amazing.
So we are very proud to be a part of it. Actually, it's not our first time. We've been a participant of the AAD for nearly a decade. But this time we come in numbers.
Yeah.
So 14 Russian companies are presenting, showcasing their hardware and equipment. 14 may not seem like a large number, but actually some of them are huge corporations which represent dozens of worldwide brands of worldwide renown, like the Sukhoi aircraft, like the Russian helicopters, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So there are 400 exhibits.
Wow.
By the Russian companies, so it's something to see. There's also an official delegation here from the Russia's Federal Service for Military and Technical Cooperation, which is headed by its deputy director Anatoly Ponchuk. So there will be also some high-level discussions and talks on cooperation.
That's absolutely incredible. I mean, obviously this is taken very, very seriously by Russia, the Russian government, and the companies, the private companies that are showcasing their goods here. I mean, this you were telling me is about, is it the eighth or the ninth time,
I think?
Yeah.
So for nearly a decade we've come to AAD. Well, basically AAD is the main event of this sort on the African continent, and for us the African market, it is something very important. Like only the backlog of the contracts we have at the moment is over $21 billion, and we're looking forward to grow it further. So we actually have some strong points. So like Russian equipment and hardware are actually sometimes, in many cases, are both the best on the market and the most cost effective. So that should attract some attention. I hope so.
I mean, when we look at Russia, it's one of the leading countries in terms of military wear. How is competition here in South Africa? I mean, we've been talking to some of our manufacturers of military wear in the country, whether we talk about Denel, whether we talk about Paramount. I mean, how are we looking in terms of the global rankings?
Well, I think Denel and Armscor are definitely among the top competitive companies on the international arena as well. But it's a very competitive market as it is. But we prefer to talk cooperation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're even talking sometimes in joint production, joining forces to produce new equipment. So we prefer the track of cooperation rather to competing. You know?
Well, I'm happy to hear that, but let's not kid. You were telling me that you have one of the most beautiful aircrafts that are here. You better take me on a tour of it later. But talk to me about it. I mean, it's over there. I'm not sure if we can get a shot of it. It's a magnificent aircraft. Talk to me about it that you are having here on display.
So it is not a military hardware. It is the Russia's newest passenger aircraft. Yeah. It is the Sukhoi Superjet, or the SSG, if you call it. I think it's the SSG 100. So it's a new regional airplane that we launched like only a few years ago, and it has been gaining traction since then. Yeah. And it's such a beautiful airplane. I mean, like, to be honest, I'm an aviation fan. Yeah. Aviation geek, you can tell. So, and I just love this plane.
That's the one. All right, I'm going to go in there myself and have a look, and I'll tell you what I think as well. Just to wrap it up, I mean, when we look at some of your biggest clients, which countries is Russia working very, very closely with? Obviously, South Africa being up there with you.
Yeah, definitely. Well, as I've said, the African continent is very important to us. We have fantastic ties with North Africa, for example. We are developing rapidly cooperation with countries south to Sahara, so the rest of Africa as well, Latin America, Europe as well. We're talking, like AAD is actually, besides being a fantastic expo, it's a great platform to communicate and cooperate with people from all around the world, because everyone is here. There's a lot of people here. Yeah. There's a lot of going on here. So I invite everyone to the Russian exhibition. I would especially visit the Rosa Baron Experts' newest booth. I think it's a world premiere. It's a sort of augmented reality booth when you can feel yourself as a pilot of a helicopter.
Wow.
KA-52, codenamed Alligator. So it's an attack helicopter. You can imagine yourself as a test pilot. So that's great, I think.
That sounds awesome. It sounds absolutely amazing. This is a fantastic place to come and visit. Come on the weekend. You can see all of this and more that Alexander's been telling us about. Alexander Kolev is from the Russian Embassy here in South Africa. Have a fantastic time. It looks like you're having fun already.
Thank you so much.
It's an absolute pleasure. All right, time to get your sport.